everyone. Welcome to the Book Over, a little book club where we talk about books, especially the ones that give us book hangovers. I'm Sarah, and with me is Megan.
Hi.
And today we are talking about Can't Fix Cupid by Raven Kennedy. Just in time for Valentine's Day. Yay. Before we get started, here's our spoiler alert. We're going to talk about the book, all the book. If you haven't read the book, be ready for spoilers.
And go read it and then come back because it's really good.
Yeah. Can't Fix Cupid. It's a standalone, and it's called on Kindle. They called it a contemporary romantic comedy with a paranormal twist. And I read that, I was like, well, that pretty much describes it. And then they also said, like, the Raven Kennedy's little note says, think billionaire romance with a Cupid. And I'm like,
which
that's it too. That's very
that's
much
it too. Yeah. Very.
And so, and I the blurb's pretty good. I don't think it really gives anything away. And it's like, basically you have Cupid, her powers aren't that great, and she's getting fired as a Cupid, and she has one last chance to get her powers working well before the universe goes, you're no longer. And so then she's fixated on one guy. And so the whole time she's working on her powers and stuff, and then a love story happens, and then twists.
And then good twists, yeah.
Good twists. Good read.
Emotional twists.
Emotional twist, yes. Oh, God.
Great for Valentine's Day.
Perfect for Valentine's Day. It's really good at Valentine's Day story. Even though I don't think it really takes place on Valentine's Day. I think it's more summery time, maybe.
But it just feels Valentine's Day because of a Cupid. You know, what's more Valentine's Day than Cupid?
Right. But I do like how they have like the app. His company makes the Cupid app and then she ends up being like the mascot. Face of it. Yeah. I loved that twist to it too. And like, they don't know that she's actually a Cupid doing that. Like, there were so many cute little things like that, you know, that just worked out so well in that book. It was refreshing to read something that could make me laugh so much and like enjoy it and still have like smut in it, and also made me cry. Like, it was just, it had all of it, and I really enjoyed this read.
Couldn't agree with you more. Like, literally all the emotions. And it did feel like a palate cleanser because, you know, we can read some dark stuff sometimes. This was like a very cute holiday book that surprised me with the level of emotion it had. I wasn't expecting like that level of like bring me to tears.
Yes, Megan, before we get fully started, Megan got a text from me. I was like, I finished Can't Fix Cupid last night and I snotty like cried, like just, you know, yeah.
That should have been my sign too. I should have been like, oh, why is she crying? That should have like tipped me off. But I just thought, oh, you know, it's probably one of those cute endings where like, I don't know, something's happened. Sometimes you cry with like, it just didn't click with me that it was going to be that, like, I don't know. It was a little harrowing almost. I was like, how is this going to, I'm like, I know it's going to be happily ever after, but is it? That I did question it at one point, and I did have to I'm like, wait, this is a happily ever after, right? Because again, you told me that you cried, and I was just like, a little part of me started being like, wait a second, like, what if like she does have to find like him with somebody? I don't know. I started questioning things, and I'm like, no, it's a rom-com. It has to like be a happily ever after.
Right.
It was definitely a journey, and it didn't end where I thought it was going to end once I found out the plot twist. Which again, I didn't see the plot twist coming either.
Right.
It was cute before then. I thought it was a very cute story. I really liked the world that they built up. How, you know, you have the paranormal world meeting the real world. It was a very cool system of afterlife. And this idea of this Cupid that just can't get her powers to work in a very funny way.
Right. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. And that's, I think, just the Cupid humor.
Mm-hmm.
I loved all of it was just so, I felt the feels and the humor. It was just like from the start, you're learning about 30 and like how she's having problems with like her Cupid powers, but how she's like infatuated with this bachelor. And then like, and I start really feeling for her, like, like when she's like laying in bed next to him and she's like telling him about her day and how this didn't work. And then she's like, why to the universe? And then it like snatches her up and you're like, oh my gosh. Like I felt for her even then because I was like, oh, I can't imagine how that feels to be like, this is my afterlife job and it's not going to plan. And then like, here she is. And she's just like with him. She's just like, I need to find his match. Like, I need to make him happy. I need to get that match. And it's just like, yeah, I don't know. Okay.
And I think she felt drawn to him. Like she needed to make them. Well, she didn't understand why he wasn't, like he would go on dates. Like, why are you going on dates with people? But then you're so uninterested. Like, it doesn't make sense. Why keep trying? So I think she's trying to figure out like why he was like that. I think it made her very infatuated with him. And I think that the whole fate and meant to be thing kept drawing her in, but she couldn't even comprehend the fact that it would be her because that's, she doesn't remember her life before. All she knows is that she's a Cupid. It doesn't even, like, she obviously likes him, but it doesn't even like occur to her. And I think they did that I like that it didn't occur to her. It wasn't like, oh, I wish I could have him. Like it took a while for her to come to that realization of, oh, she had to be a human first. And even as a human, she's still in this mindset of, I need to do my job. I'm a Cupid. And it took her like a minute to realize, oh, I like him. I liked that aspect of it. I didn't feel that like rush to have that happen. I think it happened very organically. I really liked that. She was kind of a stalker. When I was reading it, I was like, okay, she's kind of a voyeur. I'm like, she's kind of like, if you're like looking at it, she's kind of like the female equivalent of like the alpha male that's like obsessed with the main character but doesn't know it yet. Like she's a little voyeur. I kind of liked that spin on it. Yeah. That she was the voice.
Yeah.
I thought that was really funny. And there's just that scene where she's naked. Oh my God, hilarious.
Well, yeah, I mean, how mean for the universe to just plop her down in his office, butt naked.
And that Harvey, that was a good character. That was funny.
Oh yeah, I loved him. I absolutely loved him. And it's like, yeah, that whole part.
That was so funny.
It was so funny.
They had great chemistry. I really liked their back and forth. I liked how she kept getting, like the fire of the tongue, like she just was throwing and like it, it went from like her mouth being on fire and him feeding her ice cream to like her just puking everywhere. And then she gets in trouble again and like it's just funny. She just keeps ending up.
But she got the stomach. So the worst date ever with that. And then and then how he took care of her. That's the thing. It's like you start seeing this, like he's such an ass to everybody. And then like here he's something about her, and I just, yeah, it was so funny. I love, and like you said, like the organicness of how she didn't even think of like, and I'm even as a reader reading this and going, okay, here are these two people like Warren and her, or Trixie, right? And like Trixie. I love how she's like, I love her. She picked her name, and anyway, so like, and like I was as a reader trying to figure out what's going to happen. Like, yes, I can see that they would be good together, and I'm rooting for them to end up together. And like when they made their deal to be together for the short amount of time, I was like, yes. And then I was just like, just constantly trying to figure it out though. Like, is she going to find a match? And then is she just going to like show, like at one point, this is what I thought. I'm like, she's going to find a perfect match for him. And then because she got to know him so well, and then she's just going to like every like year come by and check on him and like see him having like a beautiful life. Like that's what at one point I thought was going to happen. I'm like, that kind of makes me sad because like she deserves happiness too. But I'm really happy they did end up together. I just wasn't expecting it to tear me apart for them to get to there. Oh my goodness. Like when he broke up with her, we're just jumping to the end, you guys, because that really killed me. Like when she was like, I love you. And he's like, don't, obviously damage, right? He's damaged dude. Yeah. And then he breaks up with her and she's just like, I was expecting her to be like the Veil to just like take her then. And then, but she's still around. And then for him to have his heart attack thing happen.
Yeah, I did not foresee him being ill. I did not I'm usually good at like that kind of thing and predicting that. I did not foresee that coming at all. I was like, oh wait, okay, that's why. I mean, it made perfect sense to why he would go on dates, but he couldn't commit. I mean, I've never heard of a more valid reason to why you can't commit to somebody. Well, I'm dying.
Right.
But it was so frustrating. Really... It's like, dude, spend the rest of your time with her.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah, but then like, how do you tell somebody that like, hey, yeah, like I think he was trying to be selfless by ending that with her, to not make her stay with him and see him. And, you know, he's like, I'm going to cut you off now and you can go live your life. He was doing a Jack and Rose, right? Like he's like Titanic and well, no, that's not really the right one, is it? Because she just pushes him in the water. But kind of, right? Because he's like, you stay on the door and float and try to stay warm, and I'm gonna die in the cold water. Like that's basically what Warren did, right?
Well, or you could say that's kind of what Trix did.
Yes.
Later.
Yes.
That's kind of what Trix did. So you could say they kind of did it. Maybe it's some Romeo and Juliet where they, you know, are trying to. He's trying to save her from emotional pain and she's trying to save him from dying and willing to sacrifice herself.
Right.
And her, you know, humanists, and for him to have a life, like you said, like for him to have a life. I didn't think it was going to end that way. I thought that he was going to die and that they would meet behind the veil.
Yes.
And they would, you know, she would remember him and, you know, he would be able to forget her and they would like fall in love and be Cupids together.
Yes. Because
her powers would only work when she was around him. So I thought, okay, he gives her the power. There'll be like a little Cupid team because they like started out the book with Cupid, like a team of Cupids. So I thought they would go around, you know, being in love and like Cupiding people. And that would be how it ended. Well, it wasn't.
It wasn't.
So it was interesting. It was interesting not being able to predict the ending because, like, I really thought that's the perfect out. Okay, he's dying. That's because I was thinking, how are they going to make this work? She has to go back to the veil. She's a Cupid. How is she going to reveal herself as a Cupid? Well, she doesn't reveal. They never know. He never knows that she's a Cupid, to our knowledge.
Right. I mean, she says it. He just never believes her. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So I liked that I wasn't able to predict it. It was, you know, she sacrificed herself and then we flash forward to her being like an angel, like the worst angel.
Right.
Worse than a Cupid.
I loved her. I loved her greetings. Like, yeah, you're dead. Get in line. I was like, oh my gosh, I love this so much. I feel so bad. Like 6 months later, and you're like, yeah, 6 months later. And then you're like, oh my gosh, like, yeah. And then I loved how the other angel was like, you know, being angelly dickish to her. And like, and then when she gets called into the room and they're like, you're no good at this stuff, you know, and then, but Sev, is it that I call him Sev? I don't know. That's like her like Cupid head honcho guy cracked me up.
He's so funny.
I loved him. And I loved how he's like, you know, sending her back down. I had no clue when she did that switchy thing and they had to like convince the other angel to let her through the arch again. I was like, what is the plan? Because I'm like, I I didn't understand, like, she's using all this Cupid power with him. Then she's to get sent back. And I'm like, what are you getting sent back to do? Like, I could not figure. I thought she wanted to get back so she could greet him when he died. And then
I thought that
do the thing again, I'm like, what are you trying to do? And I'm like, but then when it came out, like, that she went to heal him, I was like, wow, that's love. That's love right there. How she was like booking it to do all that. And then she totally put on line duty for it. And then, it was awesome.
Angel. She's an angel now. She's an angel.
So that was an interesting twist that I didn't see, but I love that she did it just to save him. Like, that was very, like, he was self-sacrificing by letting her go, right? Breaking up with her. And then she's sacrificed. She's a Cupid at heart. She wants to be a Cupid, but she let that go for eternity so she can go down and save him because he deserved it. And there was a quote that she said that I'm not meant to have love. I'm meant to give it. And that I think that was during one of my blubbering, maybe not yet, but like, I'm just like, break my heart. Right?
Emotion, yes.
But I mean, with all of it, like, it's like, so I love Trixie, I love Warren, I love Harvey, and then I love Blue.
Hit him on the head. Funny.
Yes.
I gotta love my vegan. I gotta support the vegan character.
Right? I thought of you. I thought of you during the vegan part. But yeah, I just felt like it was well written. I loved there was so many times that I was like giggling. And then I actually really loved my snotty, ugly cry.
Yeah. Cathartic, right?
Yeah. I needed that. Like, I think I don't always buy paperbacks. Like, I do Kindle Unlimited. Sometimes I'll buy the Kindle. Like, if I really love the book, I'll like buy it. But like, I love the book. But I'm like, I think I'm going to buy the paperback just so I have, like, this is my Valentine's read every year.
And that's true love when you buy the paperback. I feel you there. And they had great chemistry. Like, even before like the drama happened, like just them getting to know each other and their dating. I thought we got a nice amount of time of them together and their chemistry. I thought it was like a good balance.
Yeah.
Throughout. It was a nice, well-told standalone for sure.
Yes.
Really enjoyed it.
I did too.
Yeah.
I'm glad.
Great.
This was a suggestion in our Facebook group. I asked for romantic comedies and somebody recommended Can't Fix Cupid. And I was like, you know what? We need something for around Valentine's Day. And so this was a first read for both Megan and I. And I'm really happy. Yeah. I'm really happy we picked that. Yeah. Yeah, I'm curious on how that came about, how this story comes about, how.
And I know that Raven Kennedy has another Cupid series called like Signs of Cupidity or something like that. And I checked which came first, and I can't remember now. I don't remember if this book came first or the series that's also about Cupids or not. But I read that it's about a Cupid that ends up working in the Fae realm. And, I don't think she's super great at her job either. And then ends up becoming translucent after getting shot with an arrow. So I think it's a reverse harem actually. So I think this I'm curious too. I think this must be in her head, this like Cupid thing, and doing like maybe like a spin-off kind of thing in the world. So I'm very curious. Maybe there's other stuff in this world, because she does have a lot of things behind the veil, like a lot of different like creatures are mentioned in jobs. So
yeah,
it's a very cool world.
It is.
Yeah.
I know. I was reading all the jobs, you got the Cupids, you got the angels, the demons. And I love that part when she gets sit in the room and she like cracks a joke or something. And like Sev, the other Cupid and the demon laugh, but the other angels all like straight face. And I'm like, oh my gosh. Like, I'm like, I let the demons got it. Like, I feel like, I would need to be a Cupid because I appreciate a good dirty joke, I'm like, or a demon, I guess. But then I'm really curious, like there was Lady Luck. Because she was talking about how karmas are bitches.
I was about to say the karma. Yeah, the karma.
That would be fun. I think I would have fun being a Lady Luck.
That would be fun.
Yeah. I wonder what they thrive off of. See, we need Raven Kennedy to do like a spinoff of a Lady Luck.
And that could be a great St. Patrick's Day book. Yeah, Lady Luck. I like so that. Fun. That would be fun. I really like that idea.
Yeah. But it just have you kind of thinking about it. I'm like, oh my gosh, like if this was real life, obviously, like it's not, but like, I wonder which one I would like personality test into.
Yes, they need a quiz. Like, what's your afterlife job?
Yeah. Exactly.
I love that idea.
Right. I do too. Anyway.
Yeah. Very cool. Very cool world idea. Mm-hmm. And then very cool to have it be contemporary and then have this magical world. It was I thought it meshed very well together.
It did. And it was in general a good read, and that's why we had it on here. And I think anyone who needs something, even just something funny, this is a good one for sure.
Yes, it is. Yeah. It is.
All right. Pair of the book for this one. We don't really have one, but think we do for the weekend. Megan.
Raya Janae, who's been on the podcast before, has a Valentine's Day novella coming out that we're both looking forward to reading. And we think that would be a great hair of the book because, Valentine's Day. And from what the blurb says, I think that it would go well. It's a reverse harem Valentine's Day novella. Mm-hmm. So we're both really excited for that.
Yeah. Yeah. It looks what we've read of the blurb. It looks like it will be a fun one, and it's out this weekend. So check it out.
Yeah. All right.
Thank you everybody for listening. I hope you pick up Can't Fix Cupid. You read it. If you haven't read it yet, you're going to enjoy it. It's a fun read that will maybe make you ugly cry, or maybe just don't read it late at night or when you're hormonal. I don't know. And we will see you next time on the Bookover. Bye.
Happy Valentine's Day.
Happy Valentine's Day. Bye.